On Nationwide this evening, new avenues of talent to explore, how one of the best-known faces on TV took up a new career in art. The man who gave up his city office job for a life in the country, and how in County Wicklow, one man's eyesore is another man's thing of beauty. And you're very welcome to another edition of the programme. Today we're coming to you from the lovely area of Avoca in County Wicklow, an area which has inspired poet and artist alike down through the ages. And shortly in the programme we'll be meeting an artist who's lucky enough to work in this area today. But first this evening, it's always interesting and even encouraging to meet a person who's been very successful in one career and has then opened a new chapter in life, taken another career path in which they're also very successful. Well, one such person is Thelma Mansfield, who of course was known the length and breadth of the country over many years as the presenter with Derek Davis of the Live at Tree afternoon television programme. Well, these days Thelma is enjoying a career as an artist, and she lives in the rugged and wild landscape of Connemara, where recently our Mary Kennedy went to visit her.
Ah, there you are.
How are you, Mary?
I'm very well. Thank you for inviting us.
You're very welcome.
I feel as if I have entered a secret garden.
Ah, thank you. I know every time I look at it, you know, it never ceases to amaze me. I love it more each time I see it.
That's a lake. A lake in your garden.
It's a turlock, which rarely, if ever, goes dry. And I love it because I love the reflections. You see the beautiful soft greens of the leaves reflecting. And then in winter, when there are no leaves, you're getting the skies reflecting all the gorgeous clouds.
And was this here on the site when you...
It was.
And all the old trees?
Yes, there's hundreds of beautiful old gnarled trees, and none of them grow in straight lines, which is so beautiful. Must have done something really right in my life to have been so lucky to get this place, and it couldn't have come to more adoring people. So Johnny and I just love looking after it. It's a very magical place, Mary. This whole place basically was so hidden, and it was almost like the Sleeping Beauty and the poor prince trying to get through to the castle to rescue her, because you couldn't get in here. It was overgrown with bramble, bracken and blackthorn.
Well, will we go into the castle now that we've got our way through the and the Sleeping Beauty is awake? Can we go and have a look at the rest of it? We have a look at the sea.
Come and have a cup of coffee. Come on in.
Oh, Thelma.
What do you think?
How big and expansive and bright and country.
And
really
sea.
Country, yeah, and the sea. Look at the view.
Well, I've always liked sort of old worldy as opposed to madly contemporary. To be quite honest with you, I quite like this sort of earthy feeling, and it fits in so well with the landscape.
I'm not sure your dog agrees. What's the dog's name?
My dog is called Sally.
Yeah. What amazing doors!
These are the old bits of architectural salvage that we've sort of put in throughout the house. We knew when we bought them that we'd use them at some stage in our lives, and this was perfect because there's no corridor between this room and the room adjoining, and to see the view, this is the perfect solution. Just open.
So this is your bedroom.
Yes.
You're sitting up in bed and you're looking at the pier. That is stunning. The view is amazing. You have just a wonderful solution for everything. Great. Thelma, you have a very peaceful existence here by the sea in this lovely country home, but it's a far cry from the years when you were the queen of television.
Thank you very much, Mary.
Big change.
I suppose it is. Yeah, well, I always had this element, which kept me quite sane, I suppose, really. That was my lovely release. I'd come down here every weekend if I possibly could.
Do you have fond memories of Live at 3 and working in television? You were very young when you started.
Very young. Yes, yes. I was really only interested in boys in the beginning. I mean, I didn't really pay much attention to the fact that I was on television at all, because it wouldn't have been a chosen career. It was an accident that I landed in television, and then it just became a way of life. And Live at 3 was lovely because I'm now working with somebody, whereas I'd always been on my own as a continuity announcer. And it was great fun. I mean, we got to meet so many interesting people.
And what about your own family, your parents, and how many were you in family?
5. 2 girls and a boy. I'm the eldest, and 18 months exactly between us, so we looked like triplets, really.
So that's Louise, your sister?
And my brother Keith.
And your brother Keith.
Yes, and they're both very artistic. And I would like to think that I'm creative, other than just art. You know, I love gardening, and I love cooking, and I like interior design.
You certainly do, Thelma Mansfield, you certainly do, and you do it very well. And then you kind of married into this area, as you said,
yes,
when you met John.
Yes. John is a Morris, and of course the Morrises have been in Spiddal since the 1400s. Johnny's dad, of course, was a movie producer, along with many other things. So there would have been people like John Ford, of course, who has Spiddal connections. He's a Feeney Ford, and he was godfather to Johnny.
How did you and Johnny meet?
We met through a photographer friend, just briefly outside a pub, but not in a pub. I was a little apprehensive because he had very long hair and rings and earrings.
He was in a band.
He was in a band. He was in the Cana band, yes. We just got on like a house on fire, and it was basically love at first sight. And we married 2 years later, and I just love being in love. I think I was born to be in love and to be loved.
Your 2 sons, Michael and Roderick, they're adults now. What are they at?
Roderick is a sound designer with Mark Murphy, son of Mike.
Son of Mike Murphy,
yes. They're called the Sound Butlers. And Michael, my youngest, is a painter.
Where do you paint?
I have my studio in Dunleary, which is not dissimilar to this room. And then I paint here as well.
I can see why. I can see why. I'm just looking around. Look at the beautiful vista that you have for inspiration. My goodness me! Thelma, there's a hooker out on the sea there, and a curragh, as well as a dinghy. Wow!
Right, well now they are actually getting ready for the various festivals around Connemara.
It's lovely to think of a regatta like Éineacht na Gcruachtaí being revitalised. It's so much part of our heritage and our tradition, this sea tradition.
Of course, but they're back in business, thanks be to God, and up and running.
And it'll happen again next year?
Yes, it will.
The June Bank Holiday?
June Bank Holiday.
Put it in the diary, Mary. Thelma, you seem to be totally content. Is there anything I have missed in this house?
The big old sink, actually. You could...
Oh, yes, I see it.
Fit a couple of people into that.
You could bath a baby in
You
it.
could indeed. So the 3 taps, one is hot, one is cold, and the other is Guinness. Guinness on tap.
Thelma, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for inviting Nationwide to your home here in Spiddal. I presume you're still working away on the painting and exhibiting.
Oh yes, because there's always things coming up. I'm on Merrion Square every Sunday, so I've always got to have a body of work for that. And then a big exhibition coming up in November, Art Ireland in the RDS.
So it's not all about having lovely cups of coffee, looking at hookers and curraghs going around there.
I can glance at them, but I've really got to work.
And isn't it great to see Thelma looking so well and enjoying such success?